Here in the bunker, the snow outside is beginning to pile up. They get 8 inches, 10 inches, who knows? But we're all set. This is, after all, bunker. And many of you across the country have really been slammed with the coldest global warming on record. Boston's had the 3rd greatest snowfall on record. I think I'm going to start a movement, I'm very serious, for more global warming. If we can adjust the heat in this country, why the hell do we put up with this? Every place should be Florida. You agree with me, Mr. Producer? You want to go skiing, you go to Canada. There's so much going on in the world today and in our own country, threatening liberty, threatening humanity. Sometimes it's difficult to know when to start, but for me today it was not difficult to know when to start. Coptic Christians, 21 men who went to Libya to find work, that's all they did. Taken kidnapped, hostage, paraded along the ocean's edge, and simultaneously decapitated in a 5-minute period. I can't even watch these videos. While Barack Obama's playing golf? Playing golf? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to tell you today that more and more people are calling this World War III. I've been trying to get this out there now for months and months and months, and I just heard it on cable TV, so I want to congratulate them. And it's a caliphate, as I talk about over and over again and have for years, and others are finally, whoa, it looks like a caliphate. It's World War III. Whether we're engaged or not, it's World War III. And the stench of the 1930s is here. Smell it. And nobody can hide from it. It's not like the New York Times covering up the Holocaust. Oh, yes, it did. Certainly tried to. Now with social media, the internet, TV, radio, and everybody's home and so forth, there's no denying what's going on now. None. This nation at some point needs to rise up, throw off its weak leaders, install real statesmen, and beat the S out of these people. Subhumans. And we will. Unfortunately, it'll cost us more lives and more treasure because of the idiot who's president of the United States in California for 3 days playing damn golf again. Yes, it's World War III. Yes, there's a caliphate building. Yes, it's spreading all over the world. While we hollow out our own military, while our borders are wide open, just waiting to get attacked again. Now, I want you to listen to something. I want you to listen to something I've never in my life, that I'm aware of anyway, have played 2.5 minutes of anything on the NBC Nightly News. I don't know how else to get the word out, other than through the mouths of the victims. I'm able to do something behind this microphone that was almost impossible to do 80 years ago, during the rising genocide and Holocaust in Europe. Well, here we are. And I'll speak up for the Christians, as I speak up for the real Muslims, as I speak up for the Jews and everybody else. I'll speak up for the Yazidi women that Barack Obama ignores, as he ignores the women in Nigeria. Richard Engel, prior to really reporting on what's going on in the last year or two, was your typical liberal foreign correspondent, very liberal as a matter of fact. And his father was a reporter too. But he's there. This guy has guts. He's there in the Middle East. He's in Iraq and other places. And he spoke to a Yazidi woman, a very young woman. And I want you to hear what she had to say. America, we are not going to censor anything that's going on. I want you to hear what she had to say and what your president is almost completely ignoring. Cut 1, go.
The suffering of the Yazidi people. Indelible images of men, women, and children reaching up for help. Food, water, blankets, dropped on the Sinjar mountain by helicopters, many of them American. But help didn't reach everyone. In the refugee camps of northern Iraq, we met survivors of the horror that went on in the village of Kuchu. Its people, seen here in better times, couldn't reach the mountain, so they were still in the village when ISIS arrived. When they took the men, we didn't know how many were going to be killed, says 19-year-old Farida, who didn't want her face to be shown. In fact, ISIS killed almost all of the men, but they had other plans for the women. They were grabbed by the hundreds and sold off to ISIS fighters as the spoils of war. ISIS is reviving the barbaric tradition of the slave trade, proudly showing its fighters in this ISIS video discussing the Yazidi women they're about to buy. We showed Farida the video. She instantly recognized the men. I saw that one, and this guy, she said. I don't know their names, but I saw them. She saw them laughingly inspecting more than 80 Yazidi girls, picking out the ones they wanted. All of the girls were screaming and crying because they didn't want to go with them, she says. So they beat the girls and dragged them away by force. Farida was raped repeatedly for 3 months. They sold me from one man to the next, she says. The ordeal was even harder for the younger ones. They raped girls who were 9, 10 years old, or even 8, she says. They would say the older ones know something about men, while the younger ones know nothing. Howeida is one of those innocents that the ISIS fighters sought out. She's just 12. She didn't know what rape meant, only that she woke up bleeding. He was old, she says, about the man who bought her. He was 50. Somehow, Howeida escaped, but she's so badly traumatized that only now, 3 months later, is she able, haltingly, to even speak again. She and Farida are being coaxed back by this remarkable woman, Kiman Rashid, from a charity called Wadi. The girls call her Mom. Their real mothers are still being held by ISIS. Farida had never seen the video of the ISIS men. I see this, she says, and I think of all the girls they still have because they are doing everything imaginable to them. We just want justice.
We just want justice. Now you know why I call them Islamo-Nazis? It doesn't get any sicker than this. And I'll tell you what is truly upsetting and frustrating. That there aren't more voices in this country speaking out to wipe out these subhuman cockroaches. Sadly, I must tell you, I don't hear it from the left. I don't hear it from the radical women's groups in this country. If you don't get free condoms, they go nuts. But hearing about 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, because they're not in this country, I guess, apparently it hasn't moved them to speak out. Or the others on the left in this country, like this group CARE, a Hamas front group, looking for any occasion to tear down this country, our country, looking for civil rights violations, quote-unquote, where none exist. And yet, in the midst of Islam, in the heart of Islam, overseas, they say very little, if anything, because they're frauds. They're all frauds. They're not compassionate. They're not humane. The people you hear speaking the loudest about this, I hate to say it, but it's true, are not Americans generally, but they're conservative Americans who've had enough. Yes, it's World War III. Yes, there's this caliphate, and it's growing throughout the Middle East, North Africa, moving into East Africa, soon Central Africa, gobbling up Yemen, gobbling up Iraq, gobbling up Syria, Iran, the Gaza Strip, may I say, and a handful of Arab leaders trying to fight it off, Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, a few others, and that's it. As if they can stop this. And our president on another damn golfing trip. 218 rounds of golf. 218 rounds of golf. As the New York Daily News reports, imagine playing golf 24 hours a day for more than 6.5 weeks. That's the equivalent. Nobody plays 218 rounds of golf in 6 years unless you're a professional or amateur golfer. Certainly not a president. Certainly not a president. He's not my president. I impeached him a long time ago from my life. I don't know what the hell he is. All I know is he likes flying around, likes playing golf, and so does his wife. She's on a secret vacation, you know, in Aspen. Did you read that, Mr. Producer? So he's in Palm Springs, she's in Aspen. That's a funny way to spend Valentine's together, isn't it? Actually, they didn't spend it together at all. But that's his problem. And she's got another trip coming in the spring break. She and the kids are going to Japan. Sure, why not? Get it all in. 2 years left. There's no excusing Obama. Nothing excuses his conduct. Nothing. In the face of what's going on in this country and all over the world. He's got Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel as the enemy, trying to concoct civil rights violations in our own country when some left-wing piece of crap murders 3 American Muslims. And then, of course, the Islamo-Nazis in Copenhagen, busy killing, killed a guard also outside of their main synagogue there. Obama's statement, nothing about the target being Jewish. Even the leaders of these now failed European countries are saying the Jews are being targeted. There's a rise of anti-Semitism, but not Obama. Not Obama. He just watches, thinks about stuff. Maybe order a couple sorties. I want you young people out there to know something. This is not how America was. I want you to understand something else. With the right president, we can fight and beat this enemy. And I mentioned this when I was on Hannity's TV show on Fox News Channel, and it's been repeated ever since, months ago, that Obama's responsible for ISIS and the way he left Iraq. And to underscore it, the last few times I've been on, I made it clear, and I said, Obama has blood on his hands. Biden has blood on his hands. Do they act like it? No excuse now. No excuse for not knowing what's going on now. Oh, we didn't know the trains were taking the Jews to Auschwitz and Treblinka and all the rest. We didn't know. We didn't know. Of course, they did know. And they know what's going on right now, too. Christians are being murdered by the thousands, tens of thousands when you include Africa. Times of Israel, Denmark gunman openly hated Jews, says ex-classmate. Well, doesn't make him that different, does it? This one, Paris, Associated Press. Hundreds of graves have been vandalized at a Jewish cemetery in eastern France in what the French president called an odious and barbaric anti-Semitic act against French values. Still waiting to hear from Obama. Obama talking about Christians being beheaded. Christians being raped. 8-year-old girls. Haven't heard it. Jews being shot. Synagogues being attacked. Jewish headstones being desecrated. I haven't heard it. Meanwhile, 3 American Muslims slaughtered by a leftist. A leftist. It's a fact. It's not even a debate. And Obama puts out a statement 2 days later. Wants to know if it's a hate crime. Hey, genius, look around the world. Yeah, you, genius. I think they call you president. All kinds of hate crimes going on. Slaughter, genocide, mass murder, mass rape, little girls, prepubescent. Wake the hell up. You want to see hate crimes? They're right in front of your face. Get the hell off the golf course and do something. Not my president. No way.